the stock market. So predictably, I actually told my advisors, financial advisors last week, there was going to be a significant pullback in the market. It's too much turbulence, and the stock market doesn't like that. So the market in the spring believed Donald Trump would defeat Joe Biden. And that's what the market, generally speaking, wants to happen, because Trump is a capitalist and the Biden administration governed far left, almost to the socialist realm. And the stock market doesn't want that. Companies don't want that. But once Biden pulled out and Harris started to emerge and is getting traction in the polls, people get nervous. But that isn't the primary reason that stocks are going down. The primary reason is that the United States is a consumer-driven economy. That means you and I drive the company profits by spending. Americans are world-class spenders. We're not savers. We spend. And over the Biden administration, we've spent a lot because there's been a lot of government money flowing into various things. You remember the COVID payments and all that. Okay, so I'm going to break it down and not be an economic pinhead, because you can't understand what these people are saying. But the American public, the consumer, spends money and spends it at a very high level. That buoys companies and corporations. So their stock price goes up because they make more money. That's simple, right? Okay. Now Americans are running out of money because of the high prices. It's appalling how much that retail stores, includes grocery and restaurants and everything, are charging. Not to mention the gas prices. So we are running out of money. And every survey says that most Americans don't have $5,000 to fall back on in case something bad happens. And so we are forced to cut back on spending now. Forced. That's why you're seeing, and remember, the stock market is always ahead. It doesn't react to what happens tomorrow. It reacts to what they think is going to happen in November. They're not sure now whether Harris is going to get in. Remember, Harris has pledged to raise taxes on every corporation and company in this country. And those taxes will be passed on to consumer. That's economic disaster. But most Americans don't understand this, which is why I'm pleased to be delivering this memo to you tonight. Okay, so day one, Joe Biden ignited ferocious inflation. The Democrat mantra is, oh, inflation's coming down. Sure, it's coming down from more than 10%. But the high prices aren't coming down, just the rate of growth in the inflationary area coming down. So again, people don't understand that. They think prices are, no, they're not. They're staying where they were or even going up. Okay, now, Biden did this in two ways. Number one, attacking the fossil fuel industry on day one with executive orders, slapping all kinds of regulations on them, stopping all drilling on federal land for oil and fossil fuels, making it very difficult for the energy companies to harvest. Energy companies knew that right away, okay, and then lifted their prices to cover, all right, them not having the product they used to have under Trump. Do you see what I mean? Once the energy prices lifted, then everything lifted. The truckers to the food to the market, everything went higher. That's number one. And then Biden flooded the market with trillions of dollars in government spending. There were way too many dollars. Whenever you have anything too much, the value of that anything goes down. The most valuable things in the world are things that are not common. So you've got to keep the spending under control. Harris won't do. Harris will double if she gets elected. Well, double the entitlement spending that even Biden has. And fossil fuels, she's the queen of climate change. Only abortion is more important to Kamala Harris than climate change. So you get what I'm telling you here. The stock market knows all that. They know all that. These are smart people. And they're getting nervous. and they're selling off, which is what you see. Now, finally, in the talking points memo, what should you do? So back in the spring of 2023, April 11th, to be precise, we had a pretty robust stock market pullback. And I got lots of letters. What should I do? What should I do? Here's what I said. Go. So here's what I'm doing. So you know, and this is the Smart Life segment. I'm holding about 22% of my assets in the stock market. A few individual stocks, mostly mutual funds, hedge fund type of thing. Okay? I have a trusted financial team, not just one, because I have a lot of assets. I'm lucky enough to have them. And I have about that in stocks. I am holding that. Now, if you took my Smart Life advice, you would have made a lot of money. From April 2023 to August 2024, the stock market is way up. But I always tell people, if you're going to buy a stock, you got to put a stop, S-T-O-P, on it 20% down from where you bought it. So therefore, if the stock declines, when it hits the 20% down, it automatically sells. So I hope you followed my advice. Right now, I am holding. I might even add to a few AI positions because AI is now getting nervous about it. But I'm not going to buy a lot, okay? Because I don't trust the election in the sense that I think Harris has got a shot to win. And I'll explain that further coming up. And if she does win, oh boy, everybody's going to feel massive pain in this country. But Americans are too apathetic, distracted, or stupid to understand that. And that's the truth. And that's the memo.